What's up, y'all? This is David from Gnosis, and I have my friend here, Isiah. He's a college senior, and he's trying to get a degree in business, right?
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about 3 things that we wish we knew before going into college.
All right. So I appreciate the introduction.
Yep.
You know, like David said, talk about 3 things that I wish I knew, or we wish we knew before we got into college, get the whole education path. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So the first one is that, you know, before I went into college, I needed to know that college is basically not a free ticket to, you know, the middle class or high middle class or whatnot. I know that our parents, especially if we have parents that are, you know, immigrants or have, you know, that kind of mindset, they believe that college is just a free ticket to, you know, the middle class or whatnot. But, you know, we look at the statistics for Americans. You know, most Americans, I think it's something like 42 to 50% of Americans above the age of 25 have a college degree, and like over half of them don't use their college degree for whatever professional field that they're in right now. So it's not just going to college that's going to bring you, you know, success that you want in life. I think it's the application and execution that you do within college that's going to change you. So for example, you know, the things that I've been doing, cameraman has been doing, and David's been doing as well.
Yeah. So I mean, like he was saying, college is not just a free ticket to success, as sometimes we are led to believe. It's just more like a stepping stone, really, into hopefully your next level of even more success, to differentiate yourself apart from basically the pack. That's what you're trying to do.
Right.
And so, yeah, continue with.
Yeah. So I think that a couple ways you can differentiate yourself on top of having a college degree.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be internships, networking opportunities, and then being, you know, involved on campus with student leadership and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
So just thinking to internships, those are your ways to get, you know, professional experience in the field. And if you leave college and you just have a degree, and even if you get good grades, you know, there's going to be thousands and thousands of other applicants who have the same credentials that you have. And if you don't have other things to separate yourself, you're just going to be another, you know, one of the masses, basically. So you want to have other ways to differentiate yourself besides having a college degree, like tangible experience in internships, you know, partners, or like, let's say friends or networks within different companies that you want to work with in the future and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Because those give you a leg up in the application phase and all those things, so that you're not just another cold resume that people have to watch, right? Or like look at, but you're actually somebody who has a name and a face behind the company that you want to work for, right? So those have been valuable for me for the internships that I've gotten, just because, you know, like I said before, I'm not just like Isiah on a resume, or like here's my GPA, or here's, you know, my graduation year or whatever.
Just some regular Joe Schmo.
Right, exactly. It's like I've been on a call with this person. Like, he connected with me through LinkedIn. He reached out with enthusiasm, XYZ, and now I know this person. So, you know, it might be good to take a risk on this person because I like talking with them and working with them. So, yeah.
One thing I will add to that is try to get a mentor that is in whatever respective field that you're in. So that way, you know, you kind of have, you have a connection. 2, you have someone that you could ask questions with. You could ask them about this or that, and then maybe they'll even introduce you to more people. So, but also make sure that you're also bringing value to your mentor, because you don't just want to be where it's just you, just nagging your mentor all the time. But like maybe I don't know, maybe buy them a book, or maybe pay for their lunch if you go out, or, you know, something like that. You know, you're also like developing a relationship, and you're giving them value as well. And so that's one thing I would add. But I think that's all for the first point, right?
Yeah, and just one more point with the mentor aspect. You know, mentors, they're here to teach you and coach you to become a better professional. So as much as you actually take their advice and move forward and actually take actionable steps on those things, that's the degree to which they realize that you're a good candidate, one, for a potential internship or role or full-time job or whatnot. But they also value you, and like you were saying, like David was saying, they can recommend you to other people as well. So it's actually following through with the things that they teach you, so that, you're not just one of those other people who maybe they do take the time to reach out, but they don't actually follow through with the advice that's being given. So you don't want to just reach out and then do nothing, right? You want to actually do the things that they tell you what to do, right?
Yep.
And that's another way to bring value.
All right, point number 2. It's about being with like-minded people and just getting to know people in general. And so, Isiah, if you want to expand on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So whether you live on campus or you're like a commuter or whatnot, even if you do online school, there's going to be a bunch of resources and events that are offered through your school where you can go and meet people and, I guess like network or just, make friends and things of that nature. And college, it's been said a bunch of times, and I think that all college students know this, we're probably not going to be around as many young people that want to grow and improve their lives as much as we are when we're in college, right? So as much as we can capitalize on this opportunity that we have to go out and meet people and network and really like set up our lives for the future, right? It'll allow us to make meaningful connections. So as much as there are events, whether that's like in your school, for example, like I'm in the Bryan School of Business at UNCG. So like the events that they have, like I go out to them and try to meet with people, shake hands, be friendly, because you never know, like, if that person will be able to help you in the future, you'll be able to help them, X, Y, Z. So I think that whenever you're on campus or off campus or wherever you are, like living or whatever, don't be cooped up in your home or in your dorm or whatever. Like, go out and meet people and talk with people and shake hands and show people that you're like friendly, because those things are going to lead to something like your evolution, right? Especially in the professional space. But yeah, if you have anything to add on to that.
Yeah, it's also the idea of like, if you're with people maybe that are even better than you in something, it's easier for you to try to absorb that and then try to like feed off that energy and, that certain attitude that people have. And then it kind of is contagious, if someone's really driven, maybe you'll become driven. And so if you hang out with driven people, then maybe you'll become even more driven, or even this or more of that or whatever, And so it's like the idea of you don't always want to be the smartest guy in the room. Sometimes you just want to be with people that are smarter than you so you can learn as well. And that's basically it.
And if we want to like liken that to like sports or like we were talking about earlier with like martial arts and everything, if you train with people who are like lower than you or just started or whatever, you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to beat them up all day.
Or you're gonna, for your ego.
Right.
But that's not good.
Gonna ball out on them and it's like no fun, right?
No.
So as much as you go out and meet with professionals who are higher than you and doing better than you, or going out and let's say fighting people who are stronger than you or whatever,
you gotta get your butt kicked sometimes.
Right. You'll learn from those lessons. You'll be able to progress a little bit faster and be with those like-minded people who are going to bring you to, I'd say, the next phase of your life. So
if you want to be a white belt, if you want to move to a black belt, you gotta fight maybe more people that are around that that level.
Right.
And so that's the same idea with academics, with grades, or with leadership, whatever it is that you want to level up in. So that's a good point. Now this is point 3, and this is go to college with intense. I almost said inertia. But do you want to expand on that?
Yeah. So basically, when I was, or while I'm living on campus or whatnot, I've had let's call it the privilege to live with different personalities. And it's interesting, meeting with different people, not just in my dorm room, but just across the campus, who spend maybe their first 2 or sometimes even 3 years as an undeclared major. They're not sure what they want to do, and they're kind of just like walking around aimlessly throughout college. And not only are you somewhat spending hundreds of hours, or in some sense it can be, I don't think anything is a waste necessarily, but you can look back and try to feel like you're wasting that time, hundreds of hours on these courses or with these people, or in tens of thousands, and if you go to like a private school, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, that you're spending on not with no direction. So as much as you want to go to college and do all these things, maybe your parents get you to do it, or that's just a desire that you have, you should go there with an intention like, this is the general area at least that I want to go into. Because I know when I went to college, I didn't have like a pinpoint, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, that I want to get into like my career or whatever, because I didn't figure out what I want to do until about a year ago, which was like my second year of college. But I think that if you go in there and you don't have any plan whatsoever, you're kind of just gonna fumble around and like basically like spinning your wheels and spend a bunch of money that you probably don't have, and go into debt and do all these things, right? So as much as you can go into college with the intention that, hey, I'm going to go here for this reason, this reason, this reason, and even if I don't achieve all these things, I want to go there with some kind of plan so that I'm not wasting my time and money. And I think time is more valuable than money. So if you had any points to add to that.
So basically, like, what I want to add to that is that, like, you can have a plan, and it's good to have a plan, because that way you have at least a sense of direction of where you may be going.
Right, like a structure.
And even if you don't end up liking it, well, then at least now you know, and then now you can, try to regroup and then maybe go out into a different field that maybe you find interesting. I know with almost any degree, you could really do anything, really. Like, it's just depending on like who hires you, or how well you're good at marketing yourself, or stuff like that. But yeah, go in with an intention, with a plan. But of course, it's like that Mike Tyson quote, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Right.
And so sometimes you might you might end up getting punched in the face by like either a lot of money, a debt, or the courses might be tougher than you expected, X, Y, and Z, whatever. But if it's something that you feel like you really want to achieve, then I would say maintain persistence and just keep going into that, in that direction, and then hopefully you'll be able to obtain your whatever it is you have that you want to achieve. So that's really all. So basically what I was trying to say with that is that it's good to have a plan, but also plan for your plan to go bad.
Right.
And then
learn how to pivot.
And then accept that you could still do a lot of things even if it doesn't go as well as you might have expected.
Right, and I think that ties back to the other 2 points that we had around like networking and meeting people. Those people kind of can teach you like where you want to go, because it's easy to introspect and think, okay, like I like doing this thing, I like doing that thing, maybe I'll be good at this, maybe I'll be good at that. But when there's a third person that's looking at you and they can see maybe the ways you act and the faults or the personality that you have or whatnot, they can see where your strengths and weaknesses are, so they can help dictate where you can go in life and where you might be the most
valuable.
Yeah, right. So as much as you have like a network, especially professionals who are higher than you, they can see like, okay, like this person could be good at doing this or doing that, and let me try to like tailor them so that they can move in the direction where they'll have the most success.
Right.
So that's why I think it's super important to have that network of people around you who are going to give you good advice, and not just good advice, but stuff you can take like actionably, like you actually move forward on, and that's going to allow you to move leaps and bounds ahead of the competition, because there's hundreds of thousands of people graduating with a college degree every year. So like you were saying before, as much as you can differentiate yourself from the crowd and from the masses is the amount to which you'll succeed in, whether it's the corporate world or something else. What I mean? So
this quote by David Goggins is, be uncommon amongst uncommon people. So that's one way to differentiate yourself. Even if you get to the high levels, will make yourself even like crazier than them, like basically go to the next level, and if you want to achieve a lot. But I think that wraps it up, right? I think it's 3 points. One last thing is that you don't necessarily have to go to college if you want to be successful in life. That's another thing. There's a lot of people out there that haven't gone to college but are still maybe even making more money than some people that are going to college. And so if you feel like maybe that's not your route, then that's so be it. It doesn't have to be for everyone. But I would highly recommend it for anyone that wants to learn and wants to meet people and and develop a more, how do you say, a more, I want to say easier, but I'd say a more reliable path to a good career.
Right.
There's
a point I had on that. There's a video that I watched by Alex Ramosi, and he was talking about whether or not college would be a good decision and basically weighing it back and forth. And this guy's like a $100 million earner 100 times over. Like this guy's like doing insane numbers. So he was basically saying like, hey, should a person go to college or not? And basically the final analysis was that if you are from maybe like a lower income background, you don't have a lot of networks, you don't have a lot of people or, you know, family that are doing well in life or whatnot, and they don't have a lot of corporate experience, it would be a good idea to go into, you know, college to get that network, build up that repertoire, like you were saying, build up that experience so that you can, you know, help not only yourself, but the generations behind you that are going to come after you, so that they have like a grounding from a person who's gone out and do big things. But if you come from a family that maybe has their own business, or, you know, they've already done the college track and they have connections and things like that, and they can get you in through like nepotism or something like that, and maybe, you know, going to college and doing that 4 years wouldn't be as valuable as someone like myself or anybody else who is in that situation, you know what I mean? So basically, like, weigh the pros and cons, and don't just go because your family wants you to go or something of that nature. But with anything that you do, like we were saying, be intentional about it. So if you're gonna go to college or not go to college, actually do something with your time. Like, if you go to college, don't just go and drink and party and do all that stuff. And if you don't go to college, don't sit around and play games and drink all day and go hang out with friends. Like, go do something with your life, because when you turn 30 or 40 and it's not, you know, life's not working out how you want it, you're gonna look back at your 20s and 30s and be like, hey, like, I really goofed off, like, you know, and then you have to make up for it. So yeah, so with whatever you do, just be intentional about it and just do it with all your heart, you know what I'm saying? So
that wraps it up. Thank you guys for this episode. Thank you for tuning in, and we got some more stuff coming up, so stay tuned.
Appreciate you, David.
Appreciate you, man. Let's get it.